Disney song.
I like that, don't you? That's up on Autodesk Dan, so you guys can download that and use it. Sing along. I'm going to make up words for the next time, and then we'll do that together. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. Nice to see some familiar faces from a couple of conferences that I've been involved with Connect. Always love coming to London, and I just wanted to say thank you, and there's a lot of thank yous in the room. From the partners, really, we've had some pretty specific goals in the last couple of years, focusing around the Fusion and BIM opportunities out there. But I just want to say, whatever you do, whatever you train, whatever your specialty is, whoever your customers are, it's great to be able to put our trust in you to make sure that our customers are taken care of. So it's a big responsibility, and we thank you all. Thanks to Connect for hosting and for the job that you all do. Liz, Steve is in absentia, but that's because he's always working on something for us, so that's good. And but we appreciate everything that you guys do. So with Autodesk giving you the power to kind of make everything, we want to kind of take a look at what the big opportunity is. And as you saw in the video that I was singing to earlier, problems in the world are big and getting bigger, and the solutions are kind of up to us. We have a big responsibility for making sure that the next generation of students is prepared to help solve this next generation of problems that we have and challenges. And I think we're in a really good place to affect change. We have been, in the last few years, a little bit disconnected with you guys. And we just wanted to kind of drive that home a little bit, that we recognize the challenge of being in a kind of a disconnected state. So we're making a lot of changes within the program. You're probably hearing from your partners at Connect a little bit more often, and we're really encouraging this kind of direct communication. So I wanted to encourage you to come up and speak with me, not right now, this is my time, right? But afterwards, I'd love to talk to you all. Also wanted to introduce Jana Hambrook from Autodesk, and Jana runs our programs for certification. So for those of you that have been in the certification business and interested in making that a bigger part of your business, we want to talk to you about that as well. So our efforts really are going to be around making a greater connection in this year with all of our partners, so that we can communicate and work a little bit better. And so as part of that, we've changed our vision of the program internally at Autodesk, so that we're now talking about learning experiences for current and future Autodesk customers. So really focusing not just on what's happening in education, but what's happening all throughout the commercial space for people that are training in AutoCAD, people that are training in Revit and Inventor, and on the education side, the products that we're pushing in there. So we really want to get aligned with delivering those better customer experiences. And the way that we're doing that on my team is really looking at focusing on three areas. One is adding value to the program. Okay, love to talk to you guys about how we can add more value to the program. And then making it easier to do business, because as we scale and we want to talk more, the doing part, the the pushing paper around, gets in the way of relationships. So we want to make sure that we're making the things that we spend a lot of time on a little bit easier. We get those out of the way so we can focus on more of the strategy. And then connecting our learning partners with Autodesk and our initiatives. And so you'll probably hear from the conversations that we're asking Connect to have with everybody a little bit more about how can we get connected with Autodesk and our priorities. So just wanted to start with really quick overview, just to give us an idea of what's going on in Worldwide Training for FY19. This is the product breakdown, and this is for the ATC. So this is our commercial business. And the one thing that I think is really interesting is the percentage of Fusion 360 has grown. It used to be a sliver of a sliver on the commercial side, but now we're starting to see that it's becoming more and more a staple in the business. More interested in getting trained and more interested in offering training classes. If you look over at the academic partner core products, you can see that money talks, because we've been doing a lot of sponsored events with Fusion, and so at 66% of the training that's being delivered in education, that's a big reason for that. And so we are in the business of buying love, and we will continue to be in the business of buying love for a little while on the products that we need a little bit more adoption on. So, but I want to thank everybody for your efforts in kind of helping us to grow that business specifically, because I know it's a challenge, but it's getting better. So we've had a lot of great training. We're getting a lot of great feedback from our customers, and this is kind of a preview of what's coming next in the presentation. But we really want to get closer to our customers and listen to them. And so some of the changes that we've made in the evaluation system allow us to kind of see from our customers what they're thinking of the training. And so we get the good and the bad, but mostly good. Most of the evaluations that we get in the 90% and above are positive experiences that they have with the instructor and the facilities and the courses. So we appreciate that. I'm going to move over a little bit and talk about what we're looking at in FY20 and where we are so far in FY20. Give you a little bit of a breakdown in the ATC training data. And this is one of the things that we're able to kind of take a look at because of the evaluation system. Allows us to kind of delve into a lot of specific areas, and we'll talk a little bit more about how you can use this to your advantage. But so we've just in Q1 up to April 19th, we had delivered almost 10,000 courses worldwide. Kind of soak that in. There's a lot of customers out there that are learning our products, and these are just the ones that are registered, in the evaluation system. So as that becomes more and more of a priority for people to do that. So we've got 34,000 students in EMEA, specifically 4,800 courses and 15,000 students, trained. So it's a very important business to Autodesk, because if you look at each one of those numbers, that's a customer of ours. It's either a current customer or a future customer, and it's really important for us that we're taking care of them. So thank you for that. Ooh, that almost made me sick. I'm going to try not to do that anymore. So in FY20, we want to kind of really get back to the core values of the ATC programs, the Learning Partner Program, including the Authorized Training Centers and academic partners. So we're just kind of really want to get aligned with offering courses, offering certification paths, getting involved with what we consider to be kind of this lifelong learner pathway. So we'll talk a little bit about some of the ways that we're adding value. So if you remember those three areas, adding value, making it easier, and then making those connections. We'll start talking a little bit about adding value. So one of the things that you'll see if you go to Autodesk.com, right, is that we are giving a facelift to the Authorized Training Center, the Learning Partner programs at Autodesk.com. So instead of the kind of the old and tired look and feel of the old program, and then not being able to find yourself in the partner finder, and then if you can't find yourself, then customers are going to have a little trouble finding you as well. So we're making a big change in the cosmetics of it. So one is so when you click on what is an authorized training center, you get actually an updated description of what an authorized training center is, what an authorized what an academic partner looks like, and then this is the authorized academic partner site, and then an increased visibility to our partner locator. So we are making a big investment in the partner locator. How many of you have seen the Services Marketplace partner locator? Okay. Some of you are members of Service Marketplaces as well. But we're looking to put together a real profile of the business and a really accurate partner locator that includes a Google map and what services, what industries are covered, and then what is it online, is it in person, what kind of training that is offered, and allow that to be customized by your business so that you can represent yourself better to customers. So watch this space, as we say, and we'll be asking all of you to be updating the profile in the business. So you'll see yet another thing that we're asking you to do coming very soon. But I think it's going to be a really worthwhile experience. So the use of the Autodesk Training Evaluation System. How many people know that we've made that a requirement starting in FY20? Okay, some of you are really excited about it, I can tell, and others are not as excited. But so the importance of the training evaluation system is really for both of us to gain a deeper insight into what's going on in the business. In the past, we've estimated that we were somewhere between 20 and 25% of the courses that were actually taught were listed in the evaluation system. So we're not getting a really good sample of what's going on in the space, and in order to be able to make good decisions about the business, we need to have good information on the business. So we need to hear from you where the frustrations are. Don't go quiet on us because that's not what we can't make improvements to a system that we can't just guess. So we want to make sure that we're having really good communication and that we hear if there are issues that we can fix. So we're constantly tweaking it. And one of the big changes that we just made is we have changed the student portion of the evaluation system to an opt-out as opposed to an opt-in message. So the instructor will be able to bring everybody into the course without them having to register for the course and then re-register for the course, confirm it. So the instructor will be able to do that, and then we'll be able to send them an evaluation without them asking again for them to allow us to do that. So we're trying to remove as many hurdles as we can from the evaluation system, but at the same time we want to focus on the value that it's bringing to us, which is the data. So from the Authorized Training Center Academic Partner, you're able to kind of look at all the courses that you've offered, compare instructor to instructor, see what the customers are saying about the courses, and then using that information to plan other programs and course offerings. I think is super important. So this is what I was referring to. This is the new messaging that the people that sign up for your training are getting, and it's really all about saying, by accepting, you agree to, right? And then it allows us to gather more information to use from the folks that are taking the training. So it's a simple kind of thing, but it's going to make a big impact in the overall training business. So the other piece that we've been changing and working a lot on, and you guys are going to start to see this. How many are VARs in the room? Value-added resellers? There's a few. Okay. So a lot of you are already familiar with Autodesk Learning Central, and the reseller community uses this for all of their platinum and gold and all the certifications that we offer on the reseller side. But we're expanding that out so that we can use this for professional development throughout the program, and so we have courses we have about 500 courses that are uploading by August, and we're going to start to localize the courses in the second half of the year. But all Autodesk Learning partners now have access to Autodesk Learning Central. You used to have to be kind of a reseller to be able to get into that. But the number of courses that are up there for your instructors to look at, from industry courses to product specific sales and technical kinds of offerings are all there. So we're using ALC, the Learning Central platform, to help us get our ACI certificates for all the instructors. So in the next couple of years, all instructors are going to have to be certified instructors, and so we want to help everybody to get to that point. Now, it's a requirement, but it's also a huge advantage, right? Because everybody in their respective countries and cities has a couple of bad actors that they have to compete with, right? People that are not part of the Authorized Training Center program, but they offer training on AutoCAD products. So when we introduce something like an Autodesk certified instructor, it can only be only be advertised for somebody that's in the Authorized Training Center program, and so it allows us to kind of use that as a marketing advantage, and for people to be able to kind of search through and find training centers that are actually compliant with Autodesk programs. So we look at this as a big advantage, and we think that we need to push it a little bit more, from the ATC side, is just let people know that your instructors are certified instructors with Autodesk, and let's get the word out and get people talking about ACI, and then when people aren't ACI, then it becomes obvious that that's a business that they need to stay away from. So when the ACI is awarded through Credly, you'll be able to put up a partner profile for all of your instructors. What are their specialties? What products do they teach on? And really give a little bit about the instructor, and then also your business, so that people will be able to find a business that has ACIs, and it'll be a nice clean presentation of what's going on. So on the making it easier side, program requirements. Everybody likes contracts and agreements. We can spend the next hour or something talking about how much we like dealing with contracts and agreements, or we can just say that we're making a lot of effort to make these our agreements much easier to file with, and so we've moved to a click and accept as opposed to a DocuSign full contract signature process. So basically, when you get your agreements from Autodesk, it's going to be a button click, and that'll be the end of the that's the end of the process on your side. So we're all excited about not having to push a bunch of paper around, and really get to a little bit more of the business of working training. So we are going to, I like the spacing that was on that, but anyways, instructor requirements, we're going to be working through Autodesk Learning Central to track the path of your instructors, where they are on their path to ACI, and how long they've been compliant with the ACI program, and we're going to be pushing them forward into to a gold and platinum levels of ACI with time, and we're going to track it all through ALC. So we're excited about having one place where we can see all of our instructors and what they're all about. All right. So this is what it's going to look like. From here on out, it's just red or green. And I agree, and we click the button, and then we're renewed for the next contract period. So it's going to be something that we're excited about. You won't believe how excited some people on my team are about not having to chase contracts around. Making it easier to use the Autodesk brand and logos and all of those things. The video that we just shared with you, this is all available to you on the Digital Asset Management Autodesk DAM from the partner side. And so take advantage of this stuff, because if you're not an authorized training center, you're not allowed to use logos, you're not allowed to use brand imagery, you're not allowed to use any of that stuff. So when you find somebody that's doing that's not part of the program, let us know. That's something that we're really looking to crack down on this year. Okay, and then the third, making connections piece. We really want to get connected with Autodesk as the larger side of Autodesk with our training center partners, and we've had a lot of interest in folks like our the Power Mill team interested in bringing more of our CAM partners into the authorized training center mix, so that they don't have to provide training from Autodesk, but they can push that out to the ATC channel. So we're going to start to see some more opportunities from the product teams that are coming out. The one that I can really talk to a little bit more than anything else is the Autodesk Education Field Engagement team. So this is our team of direct employees at Autodesk that go out and engage education institutions. We call them Lighthouse accounts. So there's 120 Lighthouse accounts throughout the world, and these are kind of the most influential in the markets that we serve. We have direct engagement with those guys, but then we're taking what we're learning from our field engagement team with the Lighthouse accounts, and we're starting to apply that throughout kind of scale it to the rest of the universities, and that's kind of where you come in, right? If you're aware of a school in your area that needs some help, talk to Ricard and to the team, talk to Liz and Steve Taylor, and let's see what we can do to help them as a team to get them started on a path to adoption of our products. So the ATC on campus. For those of you that don't know, we just this year changed the language in the authorization for the ATC program to allow all ATCs to go into education anywhere they want to and do training. So instead of having to be an authorized academic partner, if you're an ATC, you have the go-ahead to go on campus and do training events using the computer labs with the education licenses. So take advantage of it. I think it'd be a lot of fun. All right, we're pretty close. All right. Now I want to talk a little bit about certification. This is a topic that we are extremely excited about at Autodesk, because with Jana and her team on the certification team, we really have a plan, and we're excited to get partners engaged with us again in certification. We know it's been a rocky road, right? But I think one of the reasons that it's been a bit of a rocky road is that we didn't have a big plan, and now we have a big plan that we want to work with you. So on the big picture side of things, the demand for skilled talent is huge, and it's unfulfilled, right? It's like the people that are going to be filling the jobs, for instance, in the U.S., there's a skill shortage of 2 million qualified workers, right? They don't just appear, right? They have to go through a training center. They have to go through some kind of program to get them to a place where they can accept a job in the manufacturing and construction industry. So we are desperate, right? And so look at this as a business opportunity. to get into this space. And if you look at Europe, 40% of the European companies report difficulties in hiring. And so, this is kind of like same story, different country kind of a situation here. In China, you hear about all of the engineers that are coming out of India and China, but in China only 10% of the students that graduate with an engineering degree are ready to go to work. Why? Because it's all theory and no practice, right? So they need to have training in addition to their degree in order to work in the space. So we are looking at using the certification program at Autodesk to help people understand who to hire and where to look, right? So certifying those in-demand skills. So digital manufacturing and CAM are specifically huge misses in the workforce right now. And you don't see a lot of times in things like, this is US News, I think, where they actually list a specific product that students should know. They talk about CAD or CAM or something like that, but in the hottest job skills in 2019, Autodesk Revit is listed specifically in there. And where do they get that? That's from job recommendations from companies. What are we looking for? What are we looking to hire, right? And so Autodesk Revit is showing up there. And then in addition to the top 20, and just Revit being in there, all the other manufacturing places, products are also in that space. So we're looking at certification as a process now, as opposed to I think I can take the test and pass it, right? And then that's the end of it, right? Until the next version comes out and somebody says I need to update that next certification. So we're really looking at this kind of infinity loop of certification where we're going from discovering something like this is a product that interests me to moving through deciding to use it and then getting set up and then onboarding and learning and becoming a master of that program and then moving on to the next one. So it's not just kind of like it's not a terminal situation where we're taking a certification and that's the end of it. So what we want to do is take a look at this, and this is really the kind of the strategy of Autodesk for certification and badging going forward. It's really, certification is going to be a role, right? A credential is going to be a workflow. So a role is I am a this, right? And then a workflow is I know how this process works, right? And then we go into the micro-credentials, and those are skills, so I know how to do this, right? And I can put these credentials on there. And then a badge would be something, how many people saw the Command Center in Fusion? I don't know if you guys know. So the Command Center and Command Map in Fusion is basically taking care of, as I use a product, it's gonna give me badges for understanding and for doing and accomplishing something within the product. So if you look at this as this is what we used to have, and it was just I'm a Revit professional guy. How does that help an HR representative who's trying to hire? It doesn't really push them onto a specific person. But if I'm looking for somebody in a role that knows a certain workflow and has a certain set of skills, right? Then we're going to be able to identify those people for hiring and make those connections, right? And we're really excited about that. So this is kind of what certification looks like to us now, is that instead of a terminal degree kind of thing, it's really this path, that along the path, we've got badges, and then we've got certifications, and we've got, basically, as I go and grow through my career, there are going to be milestones that we're going to document for all of our customers. And so they'll be able to tell their story through the certification process. in a much more clear and concise way and make themselves available. So then let's get specific into the certification offering, and I've got just a couple of slides, and I'm pretty close to time, I think. So our in Europe, our distributor for certification is Prodigy, as most of you guys know, and so they've given us a couple of slides to share with you. So one of the things that I want to make sure that you know is that we have plans for different kinds of certification. So as you see on that kind of learning path and that journey, one of the things that we need to do is introduce some role-based certifications. So we are introducing role-based certifications at AU in Las Vegas this year. Come on over. I came over, so you guys come over and go to Las Vegas. We even have a Paris there, so it's a little bit easier to get around. So we're going to have a BIM manager in architecture role-based certification and a mechanical engineer in manufacturing role-based certification that will launch at AU Las Vegas. And tell them that it's important that you go, because it's critical to the business, and then you can come over to Las Vegas and whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I hear. Every time I do something there, somebody finds out about it. So if we, sorry, going the wrong direction. There we go. So the overhaul of the exams, I don't know if any of you are really involved in the certification process, but we have behind the scenes been working really hard with our subject matter experts to make sure that our certification exams are not trying to trick anybody, that they're really testing the knowledge of a program and the use of that program, and not getting into rounding errors and some of the things that we've seen in some of the product certifications. So the certifications that are offered currently are better. Okay, so they are a better test of the knowledge of the product, but what we're trying to that we're accomplishing through the overall strategy is that we're also going to expand into not just working with Certiport, which is a division of Pearson, but also introduce Pearson VUE testing centers into the certification process. So what does that mean? Certiport requires an active application running, which increases complexity of the certification process. And the Pearson VUE is going to open up the potential for certification really widely, because it can be an online certification, kind of a virtual proctored exam, but it allows you to kind of say, I'm going to teach this course, I'm going to build a package together with a voucher and certification prep and multiple courses, and then say at the end of that, here's your voucher, go online and test, right? And then and we'll see a higher success rate in terms of lowering the complexity of the testing environment. We're going to see more and more. So we'd like to see everybody get more involved with certification and take this as an opportunity. When we launch this, it's going to be a big message. So ride with us on this and give certification a new look in the business, because we think it's going to be a really important thing. So to that end, this summer, Prodigy is offering a 5-for-4 offer. So if you want to buy some vouchers prior to the AU Las Vegas announcements, we're going to get buy 4, get 1 free. And then I just wanted to share with you the connection to Prodigy, right? So if you want the ordering and sales, Autodesk Prodigy Learning, technical support at Prodigy Learning, and then they've got their Twitter and LinkedIn there. So we're happy to share the information with you, but really want to make sure that everybody understands that certification is not something that has has kind of got pushed into the background. We are bringing it out in a big way, and that it's going to be a big part of what we do going forward. So one last thing, thank you for your time this morning. Thank you for what you do for us. Thanks for taking care of our customers. And we're listening. So come up to us after the presentation, and we'd like to hear how your business is working. Talk to our friends at Connect. Make sure that we are aligned together in the process. But thanks for your time.